Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're strapping in for a pretty high-tech journey, actually, into one of the oldest, most, tradition-bound sports out there.
Golf.
Yeah, for centuries, right? The golf swing has been this almost mystical thing, a mix of grace and, violence, all in under 2 seconds. And if you've ever tried to hit a ball cleanly yourself, you know just how complicated it feels. It's like our sources call it a symphony of motions, all these turns, tilts, bends, rotations, sways, thrusts. Everything has to work together perfectly. So our mission today is to really unpack what happens when all that history, that tradition, meets cutting-edge artificial intelligence. We're doing a deep dive into sources that detail this modern evolution in coaching, where 3D motion analysis is basically replacing a lot of the guesswork.
And that guesswork was a huge limitation. I mean, think about it. The golf swing is fundamentally a 3D movement, right?
Right.
But for decades, coaches were stuck watching this 3D event through essentially a 2D lens, relying on slow-mo video maybe, or just their trained eye. So if a really key movement, like how the hips rotate or a specific spinal bend happened just a fraction too early or too late, it could easily be missed, completely missed.
Okay, let's dig into that shift then, because this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The AI revolution, it's not just making the invisible visible, it's making it instantly accessible, too.
Exactly.
You don't need that $1 million biomechanics lab anymore, right?
That's the key point. It's sort of the democratization of this high-level data, the tech we're seeing now, like these AI golf chatbots. You can just put your regular phone on a tripod, take a swing.
Just your phone?
Yeah, just your phone. And you instantly get feedback that used to need like dozens of sensors glued all over your body. What took hours of specialized lab processing, well, now it's delivered in seconds.
Wow. Okay, so what kind of data are we talking about here? If I take one swing, what's the AI telling me?
Oh, it's intense. We're talking over 35 biomechanical measurements.
35.
Yeah. Things that used to be just, subjective observations. Now they're quantified. Numbers for your chest turn velocity, how much your pelvis sways, your shaft lean angle right at impact, that critical X factor stretch, your club path, your side bend percentages, it's all there. Objective truth about exactly how you moved, delivered instantly.
Okay, 35 measurements. That sounds like a lot. Almost like data overload instead of coaching. How does a regular golfer make sense of all of that, turn it into something useful?
That's the crucial part to interpretation. Data by itself is just noise, you're right. The real cleverness in these AI systems is how they translate those technical numbers into actual specific instruction you can use.
Okay.
Let's take a really common example from the sources. Scooping the ball at impact.
Ah, yes, the classic amateur fault, where the club head flips past the hands too early, kills your distance.
Precisely. You hit those weak, high shots. The system measures that exact flaw it sees when your club handle is actually behind the ball at impact instead of leaning forward. And it knows, based on that specific measurement, that you're losing distance, you're losing spin, losing control, all critical things.
So instead of just showing me a number like your shaft lean is X degrees low, what does the system actually do? What's the recommendation?
It shifts straight to the correction. The system compares your swing data to like thousands of successful swings in its database. And then it instantly suggests specific drills designed to fix that specific flaw. So maybe it suggests a forward shaft press drill, or maybe something focusing on flexing your lead wrist through impact. It's very targeted learning.
So you stop wasting time on things that aren't actually your problem.
Exactly. You work on what needs fixing. That's invaluable.
Definitely. Okay, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about something that really challenges a core idea in golf teaching. This notion of a single perfect swing. Our sources are saying that idea is pretty much, dead in the water now, thanks to systems like bioswing dynamics.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the biggest shifts in coaching philosophy. For decades, right, instruction was all about finding this one idealized swing model.
Like Hogan or Nicklaus?
Exactly. And trying to force every single golfer into that same mold, no matter their body type, their flexibility, anything. Bioswing dynamics starts from the opposite place. The basic insight is human bodies aren't uniform.
Makes sense.
So the perfect swing for you, maybe you're 5'8", cannot possibly be the same perfect swing for, say, a 7-foot-tall basketball player trying golf.
Okay, so if there's no single perfect swing, how many are there? How does the system classify them?
So according to this analysis, there are 9 fundamental biomechanical swing patterns, just 9.
9 basic types.
Right. And these patterns are figured out by looking at 3 key anatomical factors unique to each player. Their arm position at address, their specific type of wrist hinge in the backswing, and their club release style through impact.
So it's about classifying your natural tendencies, not forcing you into something unnatural. Can you give an example of how that classification changes how someone's taught?
Sure. Let's take how you rotate. The sources mention categorizing players as upper core, middle core, or lower core.
Okay.
An upper core player, for instance, naturally uses their shoulders and upper trunk more for power and stability. Now, if you try to force that player into a really hip-driven lower core type swing that restricts the upper body, well, their body's just going to fight it.
Which probably leads to frustration, maybe even injury, or just plateauing because you're fighting your own body.
Exactly right. So the custom model comes from analyzing their 3D motion data together with their bioswing dynamics blueprint. The swing model you end up with is tailored specifically for that player's body.
I see.
So instead of trying to make a, shorter finesse player swing like a huge power hitter, the coach uses the data to optimize the player's natural strengths. And this is also how the AI helps make sure the swing is sustainable, maybe even pain-free.
That really makes the data relevant, doesn't it? It's not just abstract numbers. It's a map to optimize my specific body. All right, now let's zoom in on the moment of truth. Impact. The only split second the club actually meets the ball. Our sources mention an update here. Coaches used to focus on maybe 8 impact factors, but research now confirms there are actually 10 factors you need to control for solid, consistent strikes.
Yeah, and consistency really comes down to controlling all 10 of those precisely, or at least understanding where things are breaking down if you're inconsistent. We're talking about the obvious stuff like contact quality and speed.
Sure.
But also those highly technical things the AI tracks: face angle, dynamic loft, your swing path, angle of attack, and low point.
Okay, wait. Dynamic loft and low point. We're throwing out some terms. Can we just quickly ground low point for everyone listening? Why is that one so critical?
Good question. Yeah, low point is simply the lowest point in your swing arc. Ideally for iron shots, that point should happen just after the ball.
So you hit ball first, then turf. The divot comes after the ball.
Exactly. That ensures clean contact. If your low point is inconsistent, or even worse, happening before the ball, well, that's when you get those really frustrating fat shots or thin shots.
Right.
AI tracks the low point position relative to the ball with incredible precision. Tells you exactly where your club is bottoming out. That used to be pure guesswork for most coaches.
Makes total sense. Okay, so within these 10 impact factors and looking at all 35 data points the AI spits out, what are the top coaches really focusing on? What biomechanics hold the secrets to power according to the data?
Well, the sources highlight a few really crucial indicators, especially for generating power. The top 2 seem to be the core gain factor and the X factor stretch.
Okay, core gain factor and X factor stretch. Those sound important. What do they actually measure?
Think of it like this. The X factor stretch measures how much rotational separation you get between your hips and your shoulders at the top of your backswing.
So how much you wind up your torso against your lower body.
Precisely. It's like twisting a big, powerful rubber band in your core. Then, the core gain factor tracks how quickly and efficiently you unwind that spring during the downswing. Now, if those numbers are low, the AI gives you an objective diagnosis. Your body is stuck. It means your trunk isn't separating enough from your hips. They're turning too much together. And if you don't get that separation, you're just leaking speed. Doesn't matter how hard you swing your arms or how much you work out, you're missing a fundamental power source.
So the AI pinpoints that energy leak. It helps shift the focus from fixing the symptom, like a slice maybe, to fixing the root cause, like that lack of hip-shoulder separation.
Very cool. What about stopping those awful side-to-side movements that just kill the strike?
Right, that's where the sway gap measurement comes in. It flags excessive lateral movement, side-to-side sliding of the pelvis. Good swings, elite swings, are primarily rotational.
Turning around a stable center? Exactly. If your pelvis drifts too far sideways towards the target, especially through the impact zone, you lose that stable base. Strike quality just plummets. The AI puts a number on that sway, making it something concrete you can work on.
And sequence must tie into that, right? If you're swaying too much, the order of movements is probably off. We hear about the kinetic chain all the time, but the data shows there's a strict order needed.
Absolutely critical. The kinetic chain is that sequence of how energy moves up from the ground. Pelvis fires first, then the chest or torso, then the arms, and finally the club whips through.
Pelvis, chest, arms, club.
That order has to be right. If, for example, the hips spin out way too early, coaches call it early extension or early rotation, it tends to pull the hands and club too far inside. The swing plane gets steep or collapses, and consistency goes out the window. The 3D analysis actually graphs the timing of these different body segments, so you can see exactly where your sequence breaks down.
And we see the real world impact of ignoring these maybe subtle mechanical flaws, even at the pro level. The sources mentioned Will Zalatoris, right? A top player who had to totally rebuild his swing.
Yeah.
And the reason was linked directly to an injury caused by excessive side bend, something this AI would measure instantly.
That's a perfect example of how serious these underlying mechanics are. Excessive side bend puts enormous strain on the lower back, often because the body is compensating for something else not working right, maybe poor rotation or bad sequencing.
Hmm.
For a pro like Zalatoris, rebuilding means months off tour, lost earnings. For an amateur, it often just means chronic back pain and frustration.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability of this 3D AI to flag these potentially harmful movement patterns before they cause injury, that might be its single greatest benefit.
Okay, wow. We've been pretty deep in the data weeds here. 35 measurements, core gain factors, dynamic lofts. Let's pull back a bit, zoom out. If the AI is giving us all this super technical info, what's the big picture? What does it all boil down to? What are the simple, timeless truths this tech actually confirms about a good swing?
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
Because when you do distill all those numbers and you look across all 9 of those different bioswing dynamics models, from the power player to the finesse player,
Yeah.
they all point back to 3 fundamental, non-negotiable truths. Timeless principles of any good golf swing. Number 1, stable posture. That means maintaining your setup angles, keeping that spine angle consistent, minimizing that lateral sway we talked about.
Sure.
Number 2, efficient sequencing,
Mm.
getting that kinetic chain order right.
Mm.
Pelvis, chest, arms, club, transferring energy smoothly.
Efficient sequence. Got it.
And number 3, consistent impact. Controlling those 10 impact factors reliably, especially nailing your low point and getting the club face square.
Stable posture, efficient sequencing, consistent impact. So the AI doesn't invent some brand new swing. It just gives us a much clearer, objective roadmap to achieve those fundamental truths based on our own unique body.
That's it, exactly.
But I have to ask this. If the AI is so good at diagnosing, say, my poor core gain factor, and it even tells me the 3 specific drills to fix it, do we even need human coaches anymore? What does the human bring that the AI doesn't?
That's a really crucial question. And the answer is definitely yes, we still need coaches. Think of it this way. The AI provides the what. It gives you the objective diagnosis. Here's the flaw. Here's the likely cause. Here are drills that typically help fix it.
Okay, the what?
The human coach provides the how. And maybe even more importantly, the feel. A good coach watches you do the drills. They give you immediate feedback. Okay, you think you're doing this, but here's what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
They manage the mental side, the frustration of making changes, and crucially, they help you translate that cold, hard biomechanical data back into a feeling you can actually trust and repeat out on the golf course under pressure.
Ah, translating data to feel. That's key.
Right. AI makes the invisible visible, yes. But the human coach helps make the difficult or seemingly impossible actually achievable for the player.
That distinction, the what versus the how and feel, that makes perfect sense. So the coach's role evolves. It doesn't disappear. They become more like skilled interpreters and guides.
Precisely. Leveraging the technology.
And we know this tech isn't just staying put on the driving range, right? It's expanding.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
The same core principles, 3D motion capture, analyzing the kinetic chain, measuring segment speeds, these are becoming standard tools across loads of other sports. Tennis, baseball pitching and hitting, analyzing run and gait, even just general athletic screening and training.
So the big takeaway here for you, the listener, whether you're trying to squeeze out 5 more yards off the tee or just play without your back hurting afterwards, is that getting better in this modern era isn't just about blindly grinding harder anymore.
No, definitely not. It's about training smarter.
Yeah.
These AI tools let players and coaches finally stop chasing the symptoms and start fixing the underlying movement inefficiencies. It really is becoming the perfect blend of, feel plus real. Honoring tradition, but guiding it with undeniable objective technology.
That synthesis, feel plus real, that really sums up what this deep dive has been exploring. We've gone from that old 2D guesswork to instant 3D insights, understanding everything from why you might be scooping the ball to why your core gain factor might be holding back your power. But let me leave you with a final thought to chew on. Building on what we learned about those personalized swing blueprints and the real-world injury problems like Will Zalatoris faced. If this kind of instant, super detailed 3D motion analysis is rapidly moving beyond just golf into tennis, baseball, running, you name it, How is this fundamental access to objective data about how we move going to change amateur training and, maybe more importantly, injury prevention across all these complex, repetitive sports? Will we finally be able to catch and correct those potentially damaging mechanical flaws before they lead to chronic pain? Something pretty profound to think about until our next deep dive.